I don't know. It doesn't like me very much anymore. Oh, well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Everybody has the participant guide available to them. And today we're going to talk about a day in the life of a real estate agent, a successful one. And what is that going to look like for you and your daily activities and habits, really? So we see this every class, and it's talking about what successful agents do every day. And so basically, this is the list of things that you will need to do on a daily basis. Now, if you have not done 1 through 4 at all, I can almost guarantee that you have no reason to do 1 through 9 on the right-hand side. So if you haven't done 1 through 4 on the left-hand side, there really is no reason to do anything on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is your number one job every day. So when you're creating your schedule, when you're sitting at home and you're in the office and you're like, what should I be doing with my time right now? 1 through 4 on the left-hand side is it. You need to grow your business. In fact, I did nothing but focus on growing my business, and that's still what I do. I think I focus a little bit more on running my business now that I have other businesses. Now I am getting into the part where I am just running it. But up until 2021, that's all I did was work on getting new business constantly. In fact, to the detriment of not always following up with my past business. And so that's something that I had to learn. But I'll tell you, every year I capped, every year I made the amount of money that I wanted to make because I focused on getting new business and understanding the market better. So what was I doing? I was lead generating for buyers and sellers. I was setting listing presentations. If you're lead generating, but you're not asking for the appointment and you're not setting the appointments and going on the appointments, you're not getting it. You're not moving forward. So I was setting appointments and going after that. I was making buyer presentations, setting appointments with buyers, and I previewed real estate. That's actually one of my favorite things to do. And I didn't just preview the real estate in the neighborhoods that I was selling in. I previewed real estate in neighborhoods that I've never walked into before. So that way, if someone came along and wanted to talk to me about different areas in Sacramento, I could speak on those areas, right? So if you've never been to Carmichael and you have no idea what Carmichael offers, you should go into Carmichael. You should spend a week going through all of the vacant properties in Carmichael. And once you've driven around that area for a while, you're going to start to understand the layout a little bit more. And then when someone comes to you and says, I would love to own a home on California Avenue, you will understand what that means. And you'll be able to say, okay, awesome. Let's talk about that and what you're going to need to do that, right? Or when people want to say they want to live by the river, how many areas of the river can they live by? What has property? What doesn't have property? What has vacant land? And what part of the river are you going to be able to actually buy a home on? How much does it cost? How much does it cost to live by the river? You'd be surprised at some of the costs of doing that. What does it cost to move up into the mountains? To be honest, a lot of people will want to move out of Sacramento up into the other areas that are cheaper. Yuba Sutter, where else is cheaper? Galt, Ione, Yuba Sutter is that whole county. Oh. So Yuba Sutter County, Amador County, Nevada County is kind of expensive, but it could get cheaper up there. There's all kinds of areas that are outskirts of Sacramento that will be really important for you to know because people are moving out. And I've made a killing on people moving out of the area, and I'm willing to drive an hour to an hour and a half up into the mountains. And I know what a well is, and I know what a septic is. And so just knowing those things helps you get more business because people trust me and they'll say, oh, Amy sold property up in Amador. She knows. And then I might have to drive a little bit farther, but it's a deal, right? So those are the things that I would be focusing on out the gate if I was when I was a brand new agent and if I was one now. So let's talk about.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
On previewing vacant properties, can you go through the steps? Like, do I have to contact the listing agent? Do I have to make an appointment?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So every listing has showing instructions on the listing. There's also private agent remarks. The private remarks are for us to read. That only we can see that, and it usually has really pertinent information that needs to be disclosed or no, including showing instructions. Sometimes it'll say what you need to do. If it says vacant with a lockbox, you can just go look at the property. Like you can just walk in. You do not actually need to call the agent, but I always like to call the agent and find out what's going on with the property. Like, is there anything that I need to know? Because I get in the habit, when I was new, I just got in the habit of talking to agents. Also, you can introduce yourself to agents. It might not seem really important for you to do that in the beginning, but now that I'm 8 years deep, it is. Because I just got an offer accepted on a property and we were FHA. I knew the agent. I've known the agent for years now. And I've never done a deal with them before, ever. But I've called on their listings. I'm always pleasant. We're friendly. We're cool. We've seen each other around. And I got my offer accepted. I only showed those people 2 homes. So it is beneficial for you to start learning, building those relationships with agents now. So do you have to call? No. Should you call? Yeah, go ahead and give them a call and just say, hey, I'm going to go preview the property. I'm a new agent in the market. And I'm interested. How are you? How you doing? And I just want to introduce myself. I'm going to go take a look at it. I don't have any clients right now. So but I'll give you back if you haven't. Something like that, right? That would build a good relationship with them. Any other questions? Oh,
And can I bring someone with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no problem with that. You're liable for that person when they're inside somebody else's home. Just know that. So when you think about bringing people with you, you are liable for that person and what they do while they're in that home with you. Keep that in mind. So, the other thing I was going to say, there's other showing instructions. Sometimes you'll call the listing agent. Sometimes you'll call the seller directly. I personally don't like to preview properties where the seller lives there. And here's why. The seller has to clean the house from living in it, get ready for this showing, and you don't even have a buyer that's wanting to buy the property. In my opinion, it's too much of a seller's market right now to inconvenience a seller like that. So I don't recommend that you get in the habit of trying to look and preview properties where there's a seller. If there's open houses, go to the open houses. Open houses are a great way for you to get out and you can see what other people are doing in open houses, what you would do, what you wouldn't do. And it's a good way to get out there and see new inventory in the market. Any other questions about that?
When homes are like million plus, those, even if they're vacant, are they a little more strict as far as getting into them?
No.
No?
No, they aren't. However, I tell my clients they are. And here's why. I do not want to get in the habit of showing people dream homes when they can't buy them.
Right.
So I know that I can go look at any home I want. I don't necessarily have to have a pre-approval unless it states I do. So I know that we can do that. However, I always tell my clients they most likely require a pre-approval in order for us to do that property. And that gets me out of having, there's people that just want to go look and they just want to use you to do it. And they want to use you to do it. So yeah, I don't show $1 million properties unless we've got pre-approval, just like I would, honestly, just like I would a $300,000 property. I'm not a glorified door opener. I'm a real estate agent. And, I get a lot of calls from agents that are newer that are like, hey, I went out and showed this property. They want to buy it. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's talk about where's the funds, where's this, where's that. And they don't have it. And I'm like, you're not putting in an offer. And now that client's really excited about this house. They can't put in an offer. You've got a listing agent that's asking you, where's your offer that you said you're going to submit? It's just, you're doing it backwards. And so just don't do that. Get pre-approved and all that. But yes, you can go look at whatever you want. In fact, I highly recommend that you do. Go look at properties that you've never been in before because it will make it normal for you. It'll make it just an everyday thing. And then you'll be okay when you get buyers like that. Trust me. I sold a property. Well, I was showing a property that was like $800,000 and it looked high end to me. And I told the buyers, I was like, this is not really good work. This is like high end stuff. And they were like, this is not high end. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I have a lot to learn. So then I started going out to $1 million properties, $2 million properties, and looking at what really high end was. And I was like, okay, this is a whole nother level. And so that's why I recommend that now.
Los Lagos is high end.
Yeah, Los Guapos is high end. There's houses out by the river that are $4 million.
Those are like 10 million per house. I did 2 remodels there.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
and the brands, like you'll learn what brands they use for culinary and what do they use for fridge, Sub-Zeros, and what do they use? They use Wolf, you know, they have a lot of
Picked out
that.
every nook and cranny.
And they've got something everywhere. And it's cool. It's really cool to know about that kind of stuff. It also helps you understand when you come into a house that's 400,000 that's been flipped, right? It's been flipped, that it doesn't look good. Because then you'll know like, oh yeah, it has glass backsplash, but it's crooked and they're uneven and it looks like crap, you know? So it kind of gives you some perspective on what a scale of quality is. Great question. Okay. So let's talk about our roadmap for today's class, growing your business versus running your business, setting weekly and daily objectives, and then how do you create accountability with yourself? This is a quote from F.M. Alexander, and it says, people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future.
It's a good one.
It's a really good one, right? I'd love some feedback from everybody, even my people on Zoom too. Just unmute and give us some feedback. How does this resonate with you, and what do you think this means?
Things we do in our daily lives. I don't know where I was going with that, but like,
No,
the day you do stuff every day, it becomes second nature to you.
Correct.
Or first
Yes.
nature, I don't
Yeah,
know.
are not correct, but yeah, okay. Anybody else have any interpretation of this?
I'm trying to do open houses every week, even if it's not the weekend. Like last week, I could not do Saturday and Sunday, but I did Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm
you're
trying to get
sticking
into the
it.
habit of doing that, and it's really helped me get in front of people and get buyers. No, the 9 yards.
Yep, you're getting it in, right? All right, what about my Zoom folks?
Good habits will lead to a good future. Bad habits lead to a bad future.
Yes, it's very simple. It's not easy, right? Okay, so I was talking to somebody the other day about the gym, and they're like, I go to the gym every morning at 5:30, and I'm like, oh, okay, do you ever miss the gym? And they're like, yeah, sometimes it happens, you know, like I'm tired or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. Do you ever go in the evening time? And they're like, yeah, it's not really my thing. I was like, I go when I can go. Like it's a daily non-negotiable in my life. It became one for me. I've let it go. So that's the funny thing about habits is it used to be a daily non-negotiable, and then I dropped off. I used to go to the gym every day. Even on rest days, I would go and sit in the sauna. It was just, I had to go. I had to be in that gym at some point in the day as a habit builder. And then I fell off for like 2 years where I didn't go to the gym. 2020 was rough. 2021 wasn't any better. And so, you know, I didn't go, and the habit just went away. And so they say success is earned every day. It's a bill that is due every day, right? And I love sayings like that because you can fall off, and everybody falls off. Everybody has times in their life where they're like, oh, I can't do this, or I'm not going to do that today, and stuff like that, right? You have to make things a non-negotiable for you in order for you to have the things that you don't want to negotiate on. And so if you've got dreams and you want to build and you want to have a big life, then you have to make non-negotiable daily habits. Non-negotiable daily habits. For me, it's the gym. If I can't go in the morning time, I have to go in the evening time. I've gone at 9 o'clock at night because I did not get it done that day, and I'm like, I gotta go, and I'm staying up. Okay. So how does this apply to real estate? You have to lead generate you have to set a schedule for yourself. You can take 2 days off. I've got no problems with people taking 2 days off. In fact, I think that working 7 days will burn you out. I know because I've lived that life. I have worked 7 days a week. I still sometimes work 7 days a week, Melinda knows, and it burns me out. And then you'll see me like slacking off, scrolling Facebook when I should be working because I'm burnt out. So I believe in days off. Absolutely. You should schedule that with yourself ahead of time. You should say, these are the days that I'm going to take off. Don't make them random. because things will get in the way of that. If you schedule it, it makes it so much easier on your life, because then you can have that for your people, like your clients. So Thursdays used to be my day off. When I was a buyer's agent on a team, Thursday was my day off, and I tried to take off half of Sundays, mornings and stuff. So Thursday was my day off, and it was a designated day off. In fact, if my clients called me, they didn't get me. They went to my business partner. That's a day off, right? So take your day off. That way, when you are ready to work, when it's your time to lead generate, you're ready because you've taken that time off. You're not like burnt out from doing everything else that, right? You're ready to actually work. So that's your non-negotiable if you want to be successful in this business. And it can't go away because you get a buyer.
Yeah.
You can't get a buyer and get someone in a contract and stop lead generating. Because what's going to happen is that when you close 30 days later, you're gonna have to start all over again. And now you're another 60 to 90 days out from a paycheck. What you have to do is make it a non-negotiable on an everyday, on a 5 day a week, 6 day a week schedule, 4 days a week. I don't care. Work 3 days a week. I don't care what it is, but make a schedule for yourself where you're actively lead generating. That's honestly, you don't have to work 8 hours a day in this business. You don't. You can, but you don't have to. I'll be honest, I don't think I ever did when I was a brand new agent, but I worked very smart. And every day I did lead generation, and I called leads for a couple hours, and I would talk to my people. I would be on Facebook, stuff like that. The Facebook stuff I was already doing. So I tried to like do things that I already did. I already called my friends, so I just expanded that call list. I already went on Facebook a lot, so I was just more strategic with it this time. And I would reach out to certain people and have certain conversations and post certain things, right? So you're already doing these things. Just be more strategic with the things that you're doing. And then you're working smarter, not harder. And then you're not spending 8 hours a day trying to figure out this business. You're like, no, I'm going to spend the next 2 hours calling my sphere because that's what's going to get me business in the next 90 days. I'm going to spend 2 hours finding an open house and prepping for it because that's what's going to get me business in the next 90 days, right? There's nothing else that you should be doing but prepping for lead generating or lead generating itself, right? Okay. So let's talk about a schedule here. Let me make sure that we get through these. Okay, cool. Awesome. So here's a quick overview of a daily schedule. And this does have you working 8 hours a day. And so what are the key activities that need to be on your calendar? These are some key activities that you should be working on a daily basis. Now, motivation and building time, 8 to 8:30, that could be script practice. That could be listening to a motivational video. It could be reading something about real estate. It could be reading a trends report, getting pumped, getting prepared, right? What do you need to do in order to get yourself ready to work and to get focused? I do want to point out, what other job did you ever do that at?
Like motivation.
Yeah, what other job did you ever have that for a half an hour, you were supposed to do something for you?
My last job, the job I quit, every Monday, it would be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. We kind of had just a hangout time with the team.
Yeah,
So it was very unique. Most jobs I ever had did not have that.
a hangout time with the team.
It was a meeting, but like the majority of the time was always just chatting. We were
Yeah.
just talking about stuff,
Yep.
whatever, this, that, you know,
Yeah.
or we'd make a YouTube video. It's easy,
That's
pretty
fun.
popular now.
But that
But-
stuff is fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. We'd just sit down and chat and,
Yeah.
every Monday.
And how good did that make you
Oh,
feel
it
about
really
being
helped.
there?
The morale, of the company was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good, even though it, like my old boss before that, 7 AM sharp, get to work Monday through Friday.
Yeah,
There was no team meeting.
yeah,
The morale was low. There was a lot of gossip, you know,
Mm.
it was crap and I hated it.
because you
But with
weren't
this, yeah,
friends.
yeah, and, you know, and everybody would, you know, the boss was nice, but no one like felt down to earth with them, you know.
Yeah.
But with this company, the last company I was with, it was very down to earth.
Yeah.
Family.
leadership team here at the office has it's really half an hour. It was supposed to be 15, but we had to bump to half an hour. Half an hour where we meet as a team. And our first thing that we go over is what we're grateful for. Every single day. Every day. And our big meeting at the end of the week is an hour. And it's gratitude for the first half. And then we do a leadership lesson. And then we talk about what's going on with our agents in the office and what we need to do to be better for them. And then we talk about how to make this office better. But we meet and we camaraderie. I don't know if that's the word, but we have camaraderie, right? We do gratitude. So that pumps us up and we focus on what we're happy about. That raises our serotonin levels and now we're happy. There's like scientific stuff around this. And so in the morning, when you're getting ready to do something that's out of your comfort zone, and I'm like, don't lie to me because everybody knows that making phone calls to your sphere is out of your comfort zone, unless you've already been doing it. But lead genning in general can be very uncomfortable for people. So pump yourself up, get yourself ready. Talk about what you're grateful for. Call a buddy, get a lead generation buddy that you can do script practice with, somebody else that you can do that and say, like, how you doing? It's going to be a good day. You're going to kill it. I love when people tell me you're going to kill it this week. I'm like, I love that, right? It pumps you up. So your attitude and the way that you feel about yourself is so important for lead generation. Do you disagree or agree?
No, I agree.
You've been lead generating for a while. Luke's in the classroom. He's been lead generating for a while. And the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you attack the day is one of the most important things that you can do before you start lead generating, because that comes through the phone. If you think people can't hear what's coming through the phone that's deeper than, hi, my name's Amy with Keller Williams, you're a bit disconnected, because we already know that they can't. In fact, every call center that I have ever worked at or led, managed, has always had a mirror right by the computer, and it says, smile, they can hear it in your voice, or smile, they can hear it, or something like that. And so they're telling you, be cheerful, be happy. So do something that makes you do that, right? Do something that keeps you in that good mood. Okay, so for some point in time in your day, before you get ready, you're going to be motivating yourself, whatever you need to do. I love YouTube for motivational videos, and I still to this day go on YouTube and just type in motivational videos and like pick one. There's always new ones coming up. Tony Robbins, like all of them. I love them all. I think they're fantastic. Every week in coaching, I send out a motivational video for you guys to take a look at, and you should be looking at that. Use it. Play it on repeat.
Good with Tony Robbins.
Yeah, play it on repeat every week, every day for them. And then you'll get a new one next week and you can play that on repeat. And once you start getting into this mode of motivating yourself, you're just going to become self-motivated. Some of you already are. Most of the people on this call are already very self-motivated people. That's why you're here. But if you make it a daily practice, your potential will explode. What were you going to say, Luke?
This book our team is going through right now is called The Compound Effect.
I love that book.
And Darren Hardy has a daily.
Right? Yep.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
That's okay.
It's basically a 15-minute motivation.
Oh,
every
that's
day.
awesome.
So
yeah.
it's kind of cool. But the book's really good too, though.
The compound effect is fantastic.
Amazing.
And it works in the idea of compounded interest,
Yeah.
building daily.
He used to be a realtor, so it kind of he has the same mindset.
I love that. Yeah, I didn't know he used to be a realtor. That's awesome. So Compound Effect is a fantastic book about compounded, what am I thinking of?
Compounding effect.
The compound effect, not just on like compounded interest, but on your behaviors and on your habits. And it's like building apps. You could do planks one day and not see anything, but if you do planks every day or 3 days a week for the next 4 weeks, that's going to compound on each other, and you're going to have time over attention, and you're going to build abs. It works with everything though. Lead generation. 1 day of lead generation may not get you a deal right then, but the next 30 days of lead generation will. And so I love that book. Okay, so from 8:30 to 11:30 in the morning, this is where a lot of agents do lead generation and follow-up. And you're probably going to ask, why do I call at 8:30, 11:30 in the morning? And aren't people going to be at work? Yes, usually by 8:30, they're at work and they're ready to mess around a little bit and have a phone call. Up until 11:30, what I like to do is call people and then you'll get call backs throughout the day. So if you're going to do an 8:30 to 11:30, it's okay. You might get some people on the phone, you might not. You can leave messages, but what you will get are callbacks later in the day. Always take a lunch, feed yourself. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. No joke. I forget to feed myself. Once you get super busy and you have clients and you're lead genning and then you're like, oh crap, I gotta go show this property or have these appointments, you will forget. If you don't book it in your calendar, you won't do it. And I'll show you guys my calendar. You're gonna have a heart attack, but I'll show you my calendar. But every day there's a lunch. Every day there's a lunch. Whether or not I choose to book something over it is something that I have to ponder with on the daily. Like, do I take a lunch or not? But I have to put it in there. My free time, me being busy, if I want any free time whatsoever, I book it in my calendar. And you're probably thinking, well, I don't have to do that now, but you do. Because you have to get into the habit of always having a calendar and a schedule, something that you follow. Otherwise, you're going to get into the race of the right now. And the race of the right now is what distracts you from your goals. Because there's always going to be something that's going on right now. I'm a mom. There's always something for me to be doing. I always could be cleaning, fixing, something to go down. And so I can't do that. That's called distractions. Do those things make me money? That's the number one that I have to ask myself. When I'm like, is this what makes me money? Is that activity going to make me money? If that activity is not going to make me money and it's not my time off, I don't need to be doing it. It can either wait until I have the time to do that, or I can offboard that onto somebody else and leverage it out. Transaction management, like doing your own paperwork and your transactions, is silly. It's paperwork, and you're a salesperson. You're a real estate agent. You write contracts, you show property, you go out and get new business. You're what they call the rainmaker. You're the only person that can generate income for your business.
Kind of like being a general contractor. It's better that if you don't work, because you can consistently go on bids.
Get new bids.
estimate.
Yes. So you'll see that larger teams they usually have somebody that is the rainmaker and that doesn't even go on appointments. All they do is go out and find the business and bring the business to the business, and then they assign their people to run that business. So start with that now. Start with that mentality now. I am the only person that can generate money for my business. And now I have employees and I am still the only person that can generate money for this business. So that puts a lot of excitement in me, because that means I got to go out there and get it. But I've always had that mentality, and that's why I've always made the money that I wanted to make in real estate, right? So when you're thinking about your schedule, think about it like that. Is this going to make me money? Flyers for an open house, is that going to make you money?
Yes. It'll bring the people to your open house.
Is making the flyer going to make you money?
Not technically.
Can someone else make a flyer for you?
They could.
Absolutely, right?
I thought you meant like printing them out and bringing them, because
Oh, passing them out?
I had somebody else make my
Absolutely.
flyer. Yeah, I had somebody else make my flyer
Yeah,
in our team.
you
And
have
then
a
I just
team.
print them off and go.
We have an in-house lender that can make flyers for you if you give them enough notice, right? There are plenty of places that can automate flyers for you if you look for that kind of
Yeah, I
stuff.
just shoot the list
Look
over
for
and
leverage.
done.
That's what look for leverage. So if you're thinking, oh, I gotta make these flyers for my open house this weekend, and I don't even know how to make a flyer right now, what's the easiest thing to do? Find someone to make a flyer for you, right? Or find the easiest way to make a flyer, the most automatic way to make a flyer, right? And then focus back on the open house, like door knocking, dropping the flyers, the lead generation activities, the money-making activities. So think about that as you move forward in your business and you start going through the motions of real estate and doing different things. Ask yourself constantly, is this something that is making me money? And is this something that I could potentially leverage out to someone else? Once you get to doing about 36 to 40 deals, you should probably get an assistant. And that's the person that you leverage these things out to. But you want to be able to identify what is not making you money, because then you can start looking for other opportunities. Maybe it's not an assistant, maybe it's a system. Maybe it's there's list reports. List reports is the most amazing thing that you can find, and you can get flyers in an instant. It'll create a property website. It'll do everything for you. So that and all you have to do is type in an address. You're not
listreports.com.
Listreports.com. You're not actually building a flyer from scratch, right? Don't reinvent the wheel when it comes to running your business. Take leverage and advice from anyone around you that's doing it easier. If they're getting it done faster and easier than you, take that advice, implement that in your business so that you can go back to focusing on getting new business. Okay, so you're making sure that you're taking a lunch and eating. You're making sure that the activities that you're doing when you're running your business are actually things that you should be doing. So marketing, negotiating contracts, attending trainings, that should be something that's important to you. Now, we have our trainings from 10 to 11 in the morning. So you could potentially do lead generation before, but I'll tell you a little secret. I used to do my lead generation from 4 to 6 p.m. every day. And the reason I did that is because why? What's happening from 4 to 6 p.m.?
People are getting off of work.
We're off work. People are getting off work. They're sitting in traffic. They're driving home. They answer the phone. Sometimes they're already at home, having a beer, getting ready for dinner. And I'm just calling to check in. I'm not worried about having an hour-long conversation with somebody and selling a home right then. I'm just checking in, trying to set an appointment with them for the future. So I like 4 to 7. I would get a lot of people that would answer the phone. 8 to 10, 8 to 11:30. I don't know. I've always challenged this. I feel like people are at work. I'm not necessarily going to be able to answer the phone right then. I got stuff to do. But from 4 to 6, I answer the phone a lot. In fact, that's the easiest time for me to do it. So that's when I would lead generate. And I would lead generate for internet leads that way. So I was working on a team with internet leads, and I was calling them from 4 to 6 p.m. and I was getting pretty good response from them. Weekends are great. Weekends are fantastic. Everybody's available. That's why door knocking is so good. Door knocking is great on the weekends, because why? People are home. You don't door knock at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. Where is everybody at? Yeah, if they're living in a house, they probably have a job. So I think this is a little bit antiquated, to be honest. But there are entire teams that run off of this schedule, and they're doing just fine, right? They're selling hundreds and hundreds of homes off of this schedule. So you can find what works for you, like I did, but if you don't have to reinvent the wheel if you don't want to. That's just what worked with my schedule. I used to use my day for my personal time, and my evenings like that would be for work. So from 12:30 to 2:30, I believe if you don't have any business to run, then you should continue for lead generation activities, or if there are trainings that you can go to, any kind of learning that you can do. And then also from 2:30 to 4:30, they have you growing your business some more with previewing real estate, making appointments. So their goal is, that now you've lead generated so much, you have appointments and you have clients, right? So now you have to lead generate in the morning, because when are your clients going to be available for appointments?
In the afternoon, the evening.
Most people aren't going to ditch out early on work to come and meet you, but they will ditch out, or they're not going to ditch work early in the day to come and meet you. They're going to go into work, and then they're going to get off early, if anything, to come and meet with you, or they're meeting you after work. My buyer appointments are usually, and my seller appointments are usually in the evening and the weekends. I honestly loved real estate for that reason. Because on Tuesday, when I want to go grocery shopping, I'm not going grocery shopping when everybody else is going grocery shopping.
It's nice.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the grocery store like, oh, nobody's here.
Tuesday's nice. I've been taking
I
off.
do what I want. Thursdays is my day off. Tuesday at noon, I'd be at the river, getting in my me time. No joke, that was my schedule. Guys, I miss being a real estate agent. I miss, you guys have everything I want. Because now I'm here, I teach, I'm in the office all the time. But no, Amy did not get into this business to be in an office all the time. I was doing the things that I wanted to do. I was living my life that I wanted to create. And I was still successful. Why? Because I was very purposeful and strategic with my time. That's why I called 4 to 6. Because I'd done all the stuff I want to do for the day. And now I was like, all right, I get my kids all set up for dinner. And I start calling people and I'd start having great conversations with them. Sometimes I call it from 11 to 1 because that's when people's lunch times are. So people would answer because they're on lunch. I think about this kind of stuff and it really helps me with my life and creating the life that I wanted to. Because we all did get into this business to create the life that we want, right? Yeah, absolutely. So although this is a fantastic schedule, like I said, there's plenty of people that are running this and have huge businesses, probably bigger than mine. But I also wanted the life to live. So you can adjust this. You just can't adjust this to where your non-negotiables aren't being met, right? You can't adjust your schedule to where you have 4 days off in a row. That is what will kill you in this business and you'll be out within your first year. You'll be gone because you're taking too much time. You have to work on your business. This has got to be a building time for. I was just talking to somebody and I was talking about why I work so much right now. And I was like, I'm building. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And there is for you too. Like for agents, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually you'll get to a point where they just call you for real estate. I'm 8 years in, people call me for real estate. Melinda knows, she watches me every day. People call me. The last 3 deals I put into escrow were phone calls to me to do business with me. That's a beautiful thing. I had to build that up though. First 5 years of business was just me building and building and building and building and pushing and pushing and pushing, right? So now I have new businesses and what am I doing again? I'm building and building and working and working. And I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. These businesses will eventually give me exactly what I got in real estate too. So just think about that with your schedule. Don't think that it can be for the rest of your life, but look at Farm. Farm runs a team where Farm can leave. Farm could leave for a long time and that team will still run. Michael has a team. He can leave and that team will still run and make the money. And that's the light at the end of the tunnel, right? There is hope for that. And then if you just want to be a solo agent, you get to the point where they're calling you for business. So focus your time now on building. And that's through lead generation only, right? So when you have built and you have a lot of business, then you are going to need to figure out a time for you to lead generate and have your appointment. So the only issue with my 4 to 6 calling session was that I could not do that every day because I had to book appointments during the other time. So I like to do those calling sessions 3 days a week, and it would usually be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those when I would have a lot of. It would be kind of rare for me to have appointments Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just because people are at work. They're not trying to do all that. They're recovering from the weekend. They're busy at work. They've got kids stuff, school stuff, all that. Right? Any questions about this calendar?
How much time did you set aside every week for lead generation? Like, did you set a certain amount of hours and adjust it throughout the week?
I would do mine was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
2 hours each day, or?
I would try to do 2 hours each day. Now, I had an app on my phone, and so I would break that up too sometimes. So, like Keller Williams has that app for you in command. It's fantastic. So like, if I was at the river at Tuesday at 10 o'clock and I was sitting there and I was like, this is cool, but I'm kind of bored, I would just jet a little bit. I'd send out some text messages, go on Facebook, do some stuff like that. So I would break it up, but I had to do lead generation every day. I started with, I have to do this many hours because I had to build that habit. Does that make sense? And then once it became a habit, like the gym is for me now, it doesn't matter when I go to the gym. I know it's going to happen today. Sometime it's going to happen today. That's a non-negotiable for me. So does that make sense? Yeah. But you can't do that to yourself in the beginning. You have to set guidelines and say, nope, this is what I'm going to do to build this habit. But yeah, so it was when I first started in the business, I followed a schedule like this. And I got to office every day at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I would make phone calls and lead generate. And then I had success with that, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna play with this a little bit because my life changed and I needed some time in the day. And so, yeah, I became a single mom. I had kids. I was like, I got to get all the things I want to do on my own done during the day. So then I changed my schedule up. I will say, I really don't think that it's about the time of day that you call. I think it's about just making. If you just make the phone call and get it done. So maybe 2 hours seems like a lot. Because honestly, if I called enough people and got enough contacts, or if I got an appointment, I'd be like, okay, then. That's how I was. I was like, okay, I got what I needed today. I'm gonna be fine. So you could be like that too. I know a guy that schedules his day based off of a 4-point system. And if he gets 4 points for the day, he don't have to work that day. 4 points is a close. He gets a close, he doesn't have to work that day. He gets to take that day off. But that's that day. So if he doesn't have a close that day, he has to make a certain amount of calls. I think he said 20 contacts a day is 4 points, or and some other stuff. So he had a point system for himself, and he had to do specific activities, and that's how he managed his time, and he loved it. He's like, I like spontaneity. I don't like to always know when I'm gonna have a day off. He's like, sometimes I love it when I come into work and a closing happens, and I'm like, bye guys. And I was like, that's cool. That's how he wanted his life to be, and he was successful based off of that. So here's a map and a layout and a model, right? So that you don't have to figure it out on your own. But then once you have found success and you know that lead generation is coming to you very easily, then you can kind of play around with it. Okay, on your participant guide on page 5, there's actually a calendar, kind of. Oh, actually, I think we're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna do this now. Never mind, sorry, I lied. Go to page 3. I lied, we gotta start with this first. Okay, so let's talk about setting weekly and daily objectives. Your 411, has anyone heard of a 411? Maybe not, because you're all pretty new to Keller Williams. So a 411 is based off of the One Thing, which is a book written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan, I believe. And the One Thing talks about focus. And we all have one thing in our life that if we did that one thing, everything else would fall into place. And the question that you ask yourself is what's the one thing that if I do, everything else becomes unimportant? It's probably not worded like that. I'm kind of butchering it right now. But what's the one thing that I need to do that if I do that, everything else will fall into place?
Generation.
Making money, right?
Need that.
Making
Can't
money.
skip it.
I was gonna say drink beer.
You were gonna say beer. Drink beer.
Yeah.
No, I wish that was what it was, honestly, because
Everything
then
else will fall over.
I wish that was what it was, because then I would be a champ. I would be the right.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. What's the one thing that you need to do every day that if you do that, it's gonna make life easier? Well, that's making money. Honestly, if I make enough money, I'll be able to pay all the people to run my business. If I make enough money, I'll pay off all my debt. If I make enough money, I'll be able to buy this business to do this, right? And how do I make money?
Generation.
Lead generation. So that's the number one thing that I need to do every day. All right, so based on that, and your one thing changes. Like my one thing is now different. My one thing is now building this coaching business or building other businesses, right? Things have changed. And then I actually break my goals down. So I say, okay, this is what I want to do long-term. I want to build $1 million grossing or netting coaching business. I want to make $1 million from coaching. That's what I want to do. Okay, cool. And this is real. This is what I sit down with John every week and talk about. I want to do this. Okay, cool. What do I need to do in the next year that's going to set me up for that? And then I have to break that down. So that's what we're going to do for you guys right now. I want you to think about what is the one thing that you want to achieve in the next year. And you can get even bigger. If you want to take this opportunity to get really big with it, then please do that. Like, if you want to say, I want to earn $1 million, like, let's go do that, right? You can. There's actually been agents that have gotten their real estate license, joined Keller Williams, followed the MREA model and made $1 million in their first year. I think his name's Tim Heil, and I think he was like under the age of 25, and he is in, it's HYLE or something like that, HILE or something, but he's built multiple businesses now. In fact, I've hired his business before. It's crazy. So what is your annual goal? What's the one thing that you want to achieve in the next 12 months? And it doesn't have to be this year. It could be the next 12 months, especially if you just started. Like, you didn't start at the beginning of the year, so don't do that to yourself. What do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? I want you to write that down underneath the top where it says annual goals. Or if you're on Zoom and you just write it down on another piece of paper. Can you repeat that? Your write down your annual goal. What do you want to achieve in the next 12 months?
I don't,
You better figure it out.
this is class 1.
I know. Melinda just got a real estate license, everybody. Everybody cheer her on. She crushed it.
So is make a lot of money a good,
Make a lot of money is a really good, that's a
I mean,
really
is
good
that
one.
okay?
That's a really good one. Okay, no, this is perfect. So make a lot of money. What could she do with that?
that could go anywhere.
Exactly, right? That could go anywhere. So do we want to just go anywhere? Or do you think that this class is more about a focus? A focus on what specifically do you want to do? So there's a thing called SMART goals, and I'm going to butcher this right now too, because it's Monday. But one of them, it's a SMART goal. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, or maybe I'm wrong, and something else. I can't remember, but the most important piece of that is it's specific and measurable. So specific and measurable is something like, I need to close 12 deals in the next 12 months. Or I want to net $100,000 in the next 12 months. So that's a specific, measurable goal because we know what we're shooting at and we can measure it along the way based off of whatever. So what do you want to do in the next year? And I'm going to say, if you're stumped right now, then I win. Because my coach told me that the key to a really good coach is when you ask questions and they don't have. And the reason that she said that is because you probably just never asked yourself these questions. I mean, how often did you sit down and think about your goals, your life goals, what you're going to achieve? Do we do that very often in life? We don't. So it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. It's totally okay. So, but I just want to explain to you how to fill this out. Your annual goal,
We're not filling it out now.
you
right?
can if you want
Oh,
to. You seem stumped, so I'm going to give you a pass.
thank you.
You're welcome. Annual goals are what you want to achieve in the next year. So if you want to make $100,000 gross in this business, the average commission here, well, it's higher now, but we're going to go with $10,000 to be safe. Average commission is $10,000. You're probably going to need to sell about 12 homes in order to get there, right? You need 10 homes in order to cap. So this might help you. If you want to cap, capping means that you've paid Keller Williams all of the money that you owe them for the year. That $18,000 that they take out of your commission, 20% at 26% at a time. That's called capping. They put your picture up on the wall over there and you get to enjoy 100% of your commission for the rest of the year. My cap rolls over in March. So on March 1st, every year, I owe Keller Williams $18,000. It used to be 27, so count your lucky stars. I owe Keller Williams $18,000. And every year I have to pay that. I usually want to cap within a few months. Why? Because I don't want that 26% coming out of my check. I want 100%. When the check says 10 grand, I want 10 grand deposited into my account, right? So I like to cap. Capping is also how you turn this into a successful business. Agents that don't cap are making it. So maybe it's usually they're either not doing business or they're kind of making it, but you're not making enough money to really call it a business. Just being honest. You really do need to cap in order for this to be something successful. When you cap, that's when your life changes. That's when you start seeing life changes. So you're able to pay off debt. You know, you get some of these houses, you're getting an $18,000 check. I paid off a car. Like I paid off entire credit cards. I paid off big things because of real estate. So you got to get to capping. So if you're going to say anything for your deals, you want to cap. If you're on a team, your cap is $9,000, right?
$3,000 will be yearly, so.
No,
it's 12.
It's 12. Okay.
Well, 9,000 for the broker and then 3,000. for the
Okay, so
total
12.
fee. Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's a $12,000 cap. So you're going to cap a little bit sooner, maybe,
Yeah.
right? So whatever you need to cap. That's the point, is that one of your goals, your annual goal should be, I need to cap. Okay, in order to cap, I'm going to need to close at least 9 to 10 deals. So it's got to be a little bit over that because you're going to want to do the things that you set out to do in this business, right? Which was probably pay off debt or get yourself into something, you know, buy a house, things like that. So then you take that annual goal. So let's say we want to close 12 deals a year. Then I've got to break it down into a monthly goal, right? Because remember, we're going to talk about habits and what we're supposed to do on a daily basis. Because lead generating for 2 hours is great and all, but if you don't have a target to hit, it's going to feel like a never-ending tunnel. So your monthly goals, 12 divided by 12, 1 deal a month, right? So you're looking to get 1 deal a month. Now, statistically, if you have a database of 200 people, if you have a database of 200 people, there's 12 deals in that database. 6% of all people are going to do a real estate transaction in the next 12 months. 6%. I love that statistic because then I just look at my numbers.
Has that stat ever been lower?
It's probably higher now.
Like over the last 20, 30 years, has it ever?
That's
been
what
lower
it's
than
from. It's like over the last.
that?
Yeah, it's a Keller Williams statistic that they ran numbers on over the last 20 years. And that was when the MREA was written. So imagine it now, when we're in a high demand market and there's low inventory. It's probably a little bit higher. So 6% is going to business. So if you want to do 12 deals, that means that you need to have 200 people in your database that you've contacted and are reaching out to about real estate on a regular basis. So I want 1 deal a month and I only have 50 people in my database. What do I need to be doing?
Adding people to your database,
Adding people to my database. How am I going to do that?
lead generation,
But what do you mean lead generation? How do I add people to my database? What do you mean through lead
getting
generation?
contact information,
Knocking
creating
on
a reason to
doors.
follow up.
Yeah,
setting
your contact
appointments, setting
information.
appointments.
Calling the people that we know and saying, hey, my name's Amy. I opened, my name's Amy. Hey, bud, I just opened my real estate business. I'm super excited. I've got plenty of time to help you and anybody you know buy and sell real estate. Do you know anybody that's looking for my assistance? No? Okay, good. I'm gonna keep your information in my database. And hey, if you need anything whatsoever to do with housing, I want you to reach out to me. And is there anything I can help you with? Like, how's business going? I love that. How's business going? How are you doing? Anything I can help with? How can I send you a referral? I love that question. How can I send you business? Now that I've asked for business, how can I send you business? Sometimes I like to ask them how I can send them business first, so then I can ask for business. But that's how you get them. Okay, so now you talk to people in your database and they've given you some people. Cool. Door knock. Meet sellers. They give you their phone number. You reach out to them. Whatever you do, you got to get that 50-person database up to 200 people as soon as you can. The sooner you get it to 200, the sooner you know that you can reach out to those people and you're gonna get 12 deals out of them. As long as you reach out to them on a regular basis. So that means that if I know that I need 1 deal per month and I'm lacking my database, then on a weekly basis, if I need to get 150 people into my database, what's my time frame to do that? Do I want to do that in the next month? Probably, right? Okay. So what's 150 people? Oh, wait, let's do this. I can even break down like this. How many working days are there in a month when you take 2 days off? Does anybody know that?
2 days off in the month.
If you take 2 days off every week, how many working days are there in a month?
Oh, that'd be like 22 days.
Like 21, 22 days. So whenever I have a goal that I need to get something done, I always break it down over me taking 2 days off. And so I've got 50 people in my database. I need to get 150 people. 150 people broken up over 21 days. Can you do the math?
Glad you looked at him.
7.14.
7.14. That means that I need to get 7.14 people. I need to get 8 people into my database Monday through Friday for the next 4 weeks. So then that's how you break that down. Okay, so I need 1 deal per month. Maybe you look at your phone and you're like, I got 500 contacts. Now what's your job? Calling them, right? Getting their information, getting them set up in your database, making sure that you're connecting with them and that they know that you're in real estate. So that's it. Literally, that's it, you guys. You've got how many deals you want. You break that down monthly, and then you look at what you need to get that done. We know that we need whatever database we have, 6% is going to do business. So if you've got 200 people, you're going to get 12 deals. If you've got 400 people, that's 24 deals. That's a good business. I remember when I sold 24 deals, it was a good year. Did a lot of things that year. Paid off an entire car. Did some good stuff, bought myself a house. Good things happened to me when I did that, right? Okay, so you break it down into your weekly goals. So weekly, I need to get 8 people times 5. So that's 8 people entered into database daily 5 times. Whatever note you need to write in there that reminds you of what you need to do. All right, so now I need to get 8 people entered into my database daily 5 times. Okay, well, dang. So this week I didn't get, I only got like 4 people added into my database this week because I was calling my sphere and I didn't get much. But it's Wednesday, so what could I do? Be like Kim K and just work harder? What would you do? What would you do? It's Wednesday.
I
You've
missed the
added
question,
4.
sorry, I was ready. What was it?
No, it's okay. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
You've added 4 people to your database through your lead generation efforts. What are you going to do? How are you going to go out and meet new people and get more people added to your database?
You could do a few things. You could call your sphere of influence. You could schedule extra open houses,
Okay,
longer open houses.
okay, okay.
Do longer door knocking.
Door knocking? Okay, cool. This is what I want you guys to understand what's going to happen. You're going to call your sphere for a few days and you're going to add a few. Then what are you going to do? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. What's you going to go grocery shopping and yes, girl. Yes, that's 100% real. I have even pulled my cashier from Target to buy a house. So yeah, that's your job. And the reason that I'm like asking you this is that this is what you're going to have to figure out on your own. Of course, you have a coach, but if you call me and say, Amy, I don't know what to do to get business, I'm going to say, call your sphere. Open your phone up and call every single number in your phone and introduce yourself, right?
You know what's really cool that I just did last week? If you go to the settings of your Facebook app on your smartphone, you can click add contacts, and everyone that you have a phone number added to a contact in your phone, it'll show their Facebook profile if they have one. So I like sent out 20 invites over the weekend people I haven't spoken to in years,
Good.
and they're like, accept, so
Now you get to
I
reach
can
out to
see
them.
their life, you know, I haven't seen them in years. So
Call
it's
them.
so cool.
Call them and say, hey, dude, I just found you on Facebook. I actually had your number in my phone.
Yeah,
It's so good to reconnect with you, man. How have you been?
yeah.
That is a perfect
And
excuse.
I had one Facebook message me actually right after, and he's like, dude, it's about time you add me. That's what he said to me.
Love it.
I'm
I
like,
love
cool, how you doing? We started chatting, and he asked, what am I doing? You know, he's like, you know, when I buy a house, I'll have to give you a call. So for all I know, that could have turned into one over the next few years.
That's literally how it works. I just got a text message or a phone call from a chick that I worked with. And the reason that she called me and knows that I'm in real estate is because when I left my job, I left Solar City and there were 400 people that worked in that office, and I put a card on every single person's desk. And when management came around and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm advertising. And I went around to everybody's desk and everybody got a card. Even the empty desk got a card. And so she knew I was in real estate. We stayed friends. She's been following me on Facebook. That's it. We follow each other on Facebook. I like her stuff. She likes my stuff. We comment, we talk every once in a while. And she reached out to me and said, you're the only person I would call.
We have lockers, my work. I'm
Oh, you
gonna
better
throw it.
slip that
Yeah.
shit in. Slip it in. Anyways, okay. So now we kind of have an idea. You've got to, lead generation is about getting new business and upping your database. Once you get your database to 400 people, you always want to add to your database, because like, who doesn't want a database of 1,000? Always adding, but then your job is to call through your database. Make sure you're connecting with them. Make sure that you're telling them that you're in real estate. If you called someone once and you haven't gotten a hold of them, you got to call them again. You got to keep calling them until you get a hold of them. Treat every phone number like a lead. Treat every phone number like it's got $10,000 written on it. It does. It does. And if you do that, then you'll continue to call them and you'll build this business. And it's not about trying to sell them something. It's about just being there, being available.
So after you talk to somebody and they tell you, oh, I may gonna do business with you or whatever, I may have a listing. How long after that they'll reach out to you, you should reach out?
As soon as they tell me they're interested, we need to. And you'll learn that through coming to the classes. As soon as somebody tells you that they are interested in buying and selling real estate, awesome. When can we meet? Buyers, I meet at the office. If someone wants to sell their home, I meet them at their home. And then you call me immediately. You say, coach, I got a lead. I'm going to their house on this date. And then we get together and we get you prepared with everything we need. But come to classes, and through the classes, you're going to learn how to better be prepared for those moments when people do raise their hand and say, hey, I'm ready to work. But trust me, guys, you call into your sphere one day and you're going to find people that say, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house. Or, oh, my cousin, my sister, my brother, whatever. And if they're not right then, they're going to say, you know what, I'm not right now, but in the future, if I'm thinking about it, I'm definitely going to call you, especially if they know you. The people that know you already are the ones that like and trust you, and they're going to do business with you first. It's always going to be the people you know. So if you come to me and you say, I don't know where to get business, I'm going to say, start with everybody that already knows you, because it's the easiest way. My first 2 deals were listings, and they were a friend that I came up with and my parents. Lucky me, right? They just happened to want to sell that year. But it's, and then the next, it was always people I knew. Always people I knew. Okay. Any questions about anything? Okay, cool.
I just called up somebody, I was doing an open house up the street, and there was another house up the street. I did somebody's shower years ago, like 3 years ago. We did their own shower. And I thought of them when I was doing the open house, so I called them and invited them. You know, they didn't come to the open house, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what was funny though is he shipped me a text and said, you know what, we're actually thinking about looking for another house right now.
Nice.
It's been like 3 years. But I need to follow up with them today, since they didn't show up to the open house. But I'm curious, how would you approach someone like that you haven't seen in a few years that potentially could have a realtor already lined up?
I don't care that you have a new realtor lined up.
I know, but like, how would you approach it? Would you approach it any differently?
I would say I want to have an opportunity to interview to be your realtor. I want to work with you. That's one thing that I do say is I want to work with you. I think it would be really a good fit. Now, I would love the opportunity to sit down and talk with you and show you why I think it's a good fit. I say things like, I would love the opportunity to interview to be your realtor. And that will set you apart completely from lots of people, because people don't talk like that. Or say they want to interview. They want the listing, they don't want to interview for it, but I'll interview for it. So that's what I would do. But if somebody else has if somebody has an agent lined up, I would want to know if they signed anything. And if they haven't signed anything, then I would like an opportunity to talk to them about my services and what my expertise and what I bring to the table. Huh?
My value.
Yeah, I want to show them my value. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, well.
Right.
All right, any other questions? Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for showing up. What is that? Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Hold, please. May 4th, 5:30 to 7:30. If you are in coaching, you are invited to my coaching client appreciation event, because I want to appreciate everybody that's helped my coaching business. So from May 4th, 5:30 to 7:30, we will be here in this office. Please bring a +1. You'll get more, you'll get like links to register and all that kind of stuff, but bring a +1,
Maybe plus-
like your wife,
Oh,
like your wife. Bring your wife,
Your friend or
bring your hubby, or
whoever.
bring a friend, or bring another realtor that you think would love Keller Williams or anything like
Or
that.
come by yourself.
Or come by yourself, I don't care. Tacos, booze, also drinks that are not booze, for those of us that aren't drinking. And just a good time. There's gonna be some door prizes. So anybody that shows up, if you come through the door, you get entered into a raffle for 3 different prizes. Those prizes include, how many free pest inspections? 3 free pest inspections from my guy, Pedro at Guardian Termite. That's my homie. And then
I still don't know what enhanced transaction is.
enhanced transactions, I believe, is putting together a realtor survival kit, which is gonna be really cool. And then
A photo session.
Melinda's giving away a photo session for you. I think these are fantastic prizes.
I could
so-
maybe come for a little bit, but I am obviously church on Wednesday. So.
Oh, do you? Oh,
I might stop in and say
I'm so
hi,
sorry.
and say hi to.
Yeah, you should absolutely stop in and say hi. I would love that. There's also a photo.
I'll enter
booth.
and then I'll leave.
Yeah, enter and then leave. There's also a photo booth. That's exciting too. So anyways, I just want to appreciate everybody. that's
Amy,
here.
you said May 4th.
May 4th. Yep. Next
Okay.
Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30. And
Thank you.
there's already like 25 people coming, so it's not just gonna be me and Melinda
By
hanging out.
herself.
So it's gonna be fun. You're gonna meet your fellow realtors. I'm excited about it because I just want everybody to kind of meet each other, and all you guys are in the same boat. Does that make sense? So I'm friends with realtors that I met when I was a brand new agent, and we're all like the high school class, you know what I mean? Like we look back on that and we're like, look at how good you're doing, and we really support each other's businesses, and we help each other up. So that's kind of what I want to create. I want you guys to meet each other and meet your colleagues. Okay, I hope you all can make it. Thank you so much for showing up, and I hope you have a great day.